what I hear in my spirit right now, this song. Everything new, 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 everything new.
Oh, I was jamming out. That was a good song, man. Hey, I wanted to let y'all know something on a more serious note. So, this woman, just like, I don't even know, tens, hundreds of thousands probably, of other internet wannabe teachers of the law, pastors, and when I say law, I just mean scriptures. Because that's what this is kind of like talking about, right? So, what this is, this is Deuteronomy 18, verses, I would say, 19 or so, 19 to 22. And I'm going to read them real quick, and then I'll go over this and explain it. So it says, "And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name," speaking of Yeshua, "I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded them to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods," boy, that's a big one, because it's talking about Jesus, by the way, if you don't know, "even that prophet shall die. And if thou say in thy heart, how shall we know the word which the Lord hath not spoken?" He tells you, "When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken, but the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously, thou shalt not be afraid of him." So I'm going to reiterate verse 20 here. "But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die." Now, what I want to point out to you is the way a lot of people view this and think about this is they don't see the long game. So they think somebody speaks a word, gives a prophecy, and if it doesn't come to pass in 6 months or a month or a week, then, whatever. But what you have to understand is what this is saying is this. If one of these people that is making these proclamations, declaring the stuff over you, all this stuff, all these lies, what he's saying is at the end. So it's like, how do I put this? Because they are speaking these vanities from their own imagination, and they don't come to pass, it seems like nothing happens to them. But what he's saying is, at the end, what's going to happen is all these people who did this are going to die in the tribulation because they were speaking vainly. On the flip side here, the only way you can speak something that will come to pass is from his word. It's the prophecies in this book. That's what his watchmen are doing. We are prophesying nothing new, but only what the prophets spoke. And there's scriptures that point to this and show this. I don't know them off the top of my head, but I know them. And so what it's saying is, if you speak anything other than the prophecies in this book, then you're a false prophet and you're going to die in the tribulation. That's what this is saying. You will die if you're speaking anything else other than what the prophets already said. So the sad thing here is this woman has 137,000 followers. And what I want to point out is when you see this kind of video, like what this woman is doing, it is very, very clear and obvious to 98% of the people that, okay, this is like over the top, like she's just It's theatrics. And a lot of y'all can see that. And that's good. The problem is, you can't see the ones, and I'm speaking to the ones in the Christian church. You can't distinguish between the ones who come on here and start saying the gospel is Acts 2:38 and 1 Corinthians 15, 1 through 4, that speak what your churches push and preach. You can't see the difference between that person and another false prophet or somebody who's speaking truth, because you won't recognize actual truth, because we try to proclaim it all the time, and y'all, it's completely foreign to you. So it's like, it's a lot more trickier. It's a lot more subtle, right? Like this woman that was on here, it's like 1% truth and 99% lie. So it's easy to spot. It's designed to catch a certain crowd. Like Satan's devices cover every single personality, every one of the crowds that's out there. Like all his deceptions cover all the different personalities of people. The ones that are hard to spot are the ones that are 99% truth and 1% lie. Because if it's 1% lie, it's still a lie. It's still not truth. And this is what you have to watch out for. If this is Isaiah, I want to say 8. If they're not speaking according to the prophets, and I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but if anybody else speak a different, and Paul even warned you of this too. If anybody come preaching a different gospel, the good news, the refreshing of the Holy Covenant, if anybody's preaching anything other than repentance to the covenants of promise, 10 commandments, eating clean, keeping Sabbath, let them be accursed. That's every single pastor out there in every single church. That is every single internet influencer, pastor, teacher, preacher, wannabe, whatever. All of them are accursed. Paul told you this. So Deuteronomy 18 is telling you, if they don't speak according to the scriptures and the prophets mainly, because the New Testament can be twisted so much, but the Christians don't even know the Old Testament or the prophets to even speak on those. But yet, what does it say in Isaiah 52? When it says, verse 7 and 8, how beautiful are the feet of the mountains of those who teach and preach the good tidings. That word mountains, according to documents from the Qumran caves, that word mountains is the prophets. Step into the work of the prophets. Together you sow and rejoice. I can't remember because I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have it word for word memorized. I just know what it says. So it's telling you, if anybody is preaching anything other than the prophets, which the Messiah told you, if you don't believe Moses and the prophets, how are you going to believe my words? That's John 5:45, 6, 7. It's because the prophets and Moses spoke of what Yeshua was coming to do to refresh the Holy Covenant. So if anybody's preaching anything other than that, then they're accursed and it's false. So be mindful of these people out there. That's why I don't listen to anybody except for the Father and the Word, and that's it. I have brothers and sisters that help us, but that we sharpen iron with, and then the Spirit reveals stuff while we're doing this. So keep that in mind with anybody you come across. Anybody you come across, do not listen to what they say unless they are preaching the refreshed Holy Covenant.